It's Wednesday, September the 14th. Lake levels right at 911. Hadn't changed very much in the last week. Looks like they pretty much stopped the generation, slowed it way down. But the water temperature has cooled down a little bit. It's about 80 degrees, still getting up to about 81 to 82. What I'm going to talk about this week is mainly some spinnerbaits and topwater baits. Now, I've talked in the previous weeks how usually September topwater bite starts to come on and the spinnerbait bite as well. Seems like there's always an influx of fish that move shallow first part of September for a couple weeks. Smallmouth have already started to move up. We're starting to catch more of them on a jig. They had some tournaments the past weekend and the weights were pretty good for September. I think there was a 2-day deal where the guys fished by themselves, and it was after 2 days it was 3 stringers and 28 to 33 pounds, and then a team tournament on Sunday I think took almost 18 pounds to win. So that's a lot better than the weights had been. Still not seeing very many big fish. I think 4.5, 5 pounds was the big fish each day in those events. But as the more shad and stuff start to move into the creeks, the fish will start seeing a few bigger fish. But it seems like right now one of the best deals to catch those shallow largemouths and smallmouths, and there'll be some spots in there as well, but you need to cover a lot of water. And the whopper ploppers became a big deal since James Watson won the Bass Open last fall on it. But that's one of the key baits, mixing that up with a spinnerbait. And the colors I'll throw, kind of depends on the day. Now I'll throw 2 different sizes of whopper ploppers, medium sized one and the small one. And then I'll throw a walking bait. This is a Strike King Sexy Dog. This is the small version. The bigger one is the same size as Super Spook Junior. Now normally on an overcast or cloudy day, I prefer a bone or white or all black. If the sky's a high, bluebird day, and these fish will bite a topwater bait throughout the day without a cloud in the sky. I know it's hard to get confidence in it, but what you got to do is just keep covering water. But on a clear day, I'll use something that's more natural, like a shad color. And the key seems like, you got to keep the boat at a 45-degree angle to the bank. Keep the boat in anywhere from 6 to 10 foot of water, depending on how steep the bank is. Cast it literally right up on the bank, work it to the boat. Keep the boat moving at a pretty good clip. And if there's 2 of you, I'd have one guy throwing a spinnerbait and another guy throwing the whopper plopper. Now you can throw a buzzbait in place of the whopper plopper, and you can also throw the walking bait. The problem with the walking bait is if you're trying to cover a lot of water, you can't cover as much water with like a walking bait like a spook or the Sexy Dog that you can with the whopper plopper, spinnerbait, or buzzbait. Now, as far as where these fish are, they're really scattered. I wish I could tell you exactly what type of bank, but they've been catching them, and I've been catching some as well, anywhere from the main lake all the way to the backs of the pockets. But what little bit of key I found is it seems like if I key in on what would be a springtime crankbait bank, mixed rock with some ledge and a little bit of gravel, seems to be a little bit more consistent than flat gravel or just a straight steep bank. But like I say, I've been getting bit off just about every type of bank. The main key ingredient seems to be if I'm seeing them real little bait fish as you're winding the whopper plopper or the spinnerbait, you'll see these little bait fish spraying out around the bait. That seems to be one of the keys where I'm getting bit. And I think what's going on is them little black perch, which are like a bluegill, they're up there on the bank feeding on them little shad. And I don't know whether maybe a late spawn going on some of them black perch, but they're up there real shallow, and I think the bigger fish are feeding on them. Now it's pretty good color down by the dam. Brushy Creek, Long Creek's got really good color. 3 to 4 feet of visibility, and even out on the main lake, it's not near as clear as what it normally is. Pretty much all the water, throughout the lake is in real good shape as far as no bud. It's got nice green tint. Now we got quite a bit of rain coming in this weekend, so that might change that up. But as far as on the spinnerbait I would throw, if I was just to throw 2 colored spinnerbaits, one of them would be this, I think it's a chartreuse purple shad. It's got a few strands of purple, a few strands of chartreuse, and the other one would be a mouse. These are War Eagle baits, and these are two different baits here. They're both ½ ounce, but this one has got tandem willows, one gold, one nickel, a little bit bigger blades. Now, this one here, which is the Screamin Eagle, this is a ½ ounce bait, but it's got 1/4 ounce blades on it. You know, it was kind of designed for Table Rock, Beaver Lake, Bull Shoals, for these clear water lakes. It's a bait that you can burn, you know, meaning real fast without the bait rolling over. But the blades are also imitating the size of the bait that we're seeing up on the bank right now, the little shore minnows. And other than the mouse color, the other one I would try would be a chartreuse mouse. It's about the same color green, but it's got a little chartreuse on the tips. And with the lake level being low like it is, you're going to combine, you know, a lot of trees, a lot of timber that's just sticking up out of the water. Some of that stuff might be in 15, 20 foot. As you're going parallel down to the bank, this stuff will be out in front of you or to the deeper side. I would definitely take these spinnerbaits, run them right through the middle of them cedar trees, try to bounce them off the limbs. If you don't bounce off the limb when you get the bait coming through the tree, you want to pause it for just a second. And what that'll do, it allows the skirt to kind of flare out and the blades to flutter a little bit, giving it just a little bit of change in the presentation. A lot of times that'll make the fish strike. Yeah. And we use the willow leaf blades because out there, you know, if you're fishing out in a little bit deeper water around them cedars, if you want to drop it down 3 or 4 feet, you know, it's no problem to do that with the willow blades. The willow blades will fall a lot faster. Oh, I got the wrong spinnerbait here. The willow blades will fall a lot faster than, say, a Colorado Indiana blade. So, if I'm fishing up in the river, where I may only be in 3 to 5 feet of water, what I like to throw, it's a Colorado Indiana combination. One gold, one nickel, and this will do several different things. With this blade combination, the bait won't fall as fast, therefore it allows me to reel it a little bit slower in that shallow water, you know, without the bait going down and hitting the bottom. Also, these blades will give off a lot more thump than the willow leaf. Most of the time the willow leaf blades, you're fishing in kind of the clearer water and you're fishing it faster, and it's just more of a reaction for the fish. But this little 5/16 War Eagle with the Colorado Indiana combination seems to be working better for me in the shallower water. It'll give off, like I say, you know, a lot more vibration. But the main deal right now is, you know, there's still a drop shot bite going on, and you can still catch some fish on a spoon. But usually what happens in September, and I'm seeing it start to happen right now, a lot of them drop shot fish, as the thermocline starts to break up, are really going to scatter, and they're going to be anywhere from 20 feet to, you know, some as deep as 45. Majority of them fish had been 20 to 25 feet, but I seem to be finding less out there in some of the areas I've been catching them. A lot of them are starting to move out over some deeper trees and starting to suspend a little bit deeper. But like I say, with this rain and stuff coming in this week, it should be good out there on the top water. Don't be afraid to throw that top water and spinnerbait in the middle of the day when there's not a cloud in the sky. You're not going to get a lot of bites, but you got a good chance of catching some quality bites this time of year on it. So until next week, good luck, good fishing.